So now we're going to do examples with synthetic division. You guys will probably find this easier. I know my other previous kids like this one better than long division. The first thing what we want to do is find our 0. So we have x minus 3. Remember, to find our 0, we just set it equal to 0 and solve for x. And we know that x equals positive 3. Alright, so we're going to do this drawing right here. We put the 3 outside, and then we're going to make a long L shape, a sideways L. Alright, so we're going to actually label our stuff. So on top I'm going to put x cubed. This should be x squared. We're going descending order, so the next one should be x to the first power. And then we have x to the 0. Alright, so we found our 0. Now we need to list the top coefficients. Remember, coefficients are the numbers in front of the variables with exponents. So my first coefficient is positive 1. My second coefficient is negative 2. And then I don't have an x to the first, so remember, we're going to put a 0 as a placeholder. And x to the 0 just means your constant term, which is negative 9. So the first step is that we're going to be moving down. We're going to take this 1, we're going to bring it all the way down and put a 1 right there. The next step is to multiply. So let's see. We're going to multiply this 1 by 3. 1 times 3 is 3. So let's see. We're going to put positive 3 right here. And then we're going to add them. What's negative 2 plus 3? That gives me positive 1. Then I'm going to multiply 1 times 3, which gives me positive 3. 0 plus 3 gives me 3. 3 times 3 gives me positive 9. Negative 9 plus 9 gets me 0. So again, as we move down, we are adding, and as we move across, we are multiplying. Look at step 3. Alright, so if we look over here, our remainder is 0, which means that this is a factor. So our last step says to answer with x raised to the n minus 1. So our highest x, or n, was positive 3. So we have x to the third. What we're doing is we're subtracting 1 from it, so we're going to have x squared. What this means is that since x minus 3 is a factor, the next one that we're going to start with in our answer is going to be x squared, and we're going to go in descending order. So all this means is that we have 1x squared plus 1x plus 3 with no remainder. So, was this a little easier than long division? So we're moving on to our next example. We're using synthetic division again. The first thing is we want to find our 0. So we're going to have x plus 1 equal to 0 and solve for x. So we have to subtract 1 for both sides, so we know that our x is going to be negative 1. So I'm going to put that on my outside. Remember, I'm drawing the little L-shaped box figure. Alright, over here, we know that we're starting with x squared on top. We're descending to x to the first power, and then x to the 0. Luckily in this one, we don't need any placeholders because we have all the variables in descending order. So then the next part is to find our coefficients. So in front of x squared, my coefficient is positive 1. In front of x, my coefficient is positive 3. And in front of x to the 0, remember, if it's just a constant term, it's x to the 0, that's going to be positive 5. Alright, so our first step is that we're going to bring this guy down. So we bring 1 down. 1 times negative 1 gives us negative 1. Negative 1 times negative 1, or we add them, sorry, my bad. We have 3 minus 1, which gives us positive 2. 2 times negative 1 gives me negative 2. And then we're adding, what's 5 plus negative 2? That gives me positive 3. This last box is always going to be a remainder once you're doing synthetic division. So, again, we're going down a degree. We were saying that when x equals negative 1, that's the factor. So, we're going to go down a degree. So, our answer is going to be 1x plus 2. This time we have a remainder of 3. So, it's going to be 3 over x plus 1. So this right here is my final answer. If you guys compare it with what we had from our long division, it's exactly the same thing. So both methods work. One may be easier than the other in different cases. Alright, well thank you guys for watching. Make sure that you guys take good notes and have this down. See you in class.